Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this Saturday night Power of One. Let me bring in Eileen. What's up, Eileen?
Hey guys. Hey Shane. You just heard my phone turn on because I found out the name of the crystal that I didn't remember 2 weeks ago. And now I'm not sure if it's Stillbite or Stiblite.
Oh,
So
let's see it.
yeah, it's this one. And if Jody's in the room, she does Reiki with crystals. She'll probably know.
Can you back it up a little bit? That's actually a little too close.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah. Because
So
what's the other one that it looks like that people were thinking?
looks like selenite, but it
Yeah,
doesn't
selenite.
grow in the shape of selenite.
Right.
I'll go really close, and you'll get to see how many pieces are in there. It's like string cheese.
Yeah.
It's string cheese for crystals. So
That's
if
awesome.
Jody's in the room, it came up as Stillbite or Stiblite.
Okay.
Calling Jody. Who else knows crystals? Oh, Nicola from Australia.
Not
You're
sure
going to have
she's
her
here
on, and
yet.
she's going to do crystals.
Yeah, she was. She sent me an email saying she couldn't make it on last night. Yeah, it does look like selenite. Yeah, we thought that at first.
But it's not, because it's in the shape of string cheese. So call it string cheese selenite, and it came up in a computer search just by pictures as Stillbite or Stiblite. And it's a celestial crystal that connects you to the cosmos. It's a cosmos connector.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. But my wand is over there, but I should bring it back. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. Zip. There we go. All right, so welcome everybody. So, how is everybody doing in your neck of the woods? Are things crazy over where you are? They seem pretty normal. Are the roads empty? Stores
Sorry
empty?
to leave you in the lurch. Okay. This wand is amazing. It's so light that it feels like plastic. I know this part is resin,
Mm-hmm.
which is made of plastic, which is an argonite or argon.
Mm-hmm.
And inside is a crystal with the most unusual shaped tip. And I don't know if you can actually see the crystal inside. Do you guys see it?
Yeah.
So inside are the 6 sides of the crystal, and it has a window of Isis, which means you got 5 sides, and instead of having a 6th normal triangle side, it's cut off and lowered into a diamond shape
Oh.
so that you can, it's called a doorway. It's a window of Isis or a doorway of Isis. And of course she put orange and red in it, which is, I don't have many clothes in orange and red, but it's a color that I'm working on to bring into my life because I've totally ignored orange rocks, red rocks, orange clothing, red clothing. You know, I'll have pink, like I'm wearing today, rhodochrosite earrings, but not a lot of red and orange. And she said in the interview that you did, the show you did with her was wonderful. And she said that she really tuned in to each of us, and she put inside of them what she felt was needed. So I've been working with this with intention and kinesiology. And without it, my arm is pretty strong. And with it, my arm is like Herculean. It's like, it at least doubles my strength when I hold it.
Wow.
So I'm like, whoa, she's so psychic. Do you know, did you put in her like contact details where people can get these?
Actually, I had a couple of people contact me that I passed them through to her. So yeah, they can just email me and I'll send them along to her.
So I need a name and email so that I can say thank you properly. Is it Diane?
No, Joanne. Joe.
Joanne. Do you call her
Yeah.
Joe?
Yeah. Joe. Joe in
Joe,
Australia. Thank you, Joe.
Joe, your work is phenomenal. You picked up on the fact that for about 6 months I've been looking for orange and red. It's in here.
Yeah.
You put in a crystal that has a window of Isis, and I grew up in Egypt. So the whole mythology of Isis and Osiris was very important to me. It was
Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
my life. And when I hold it, it's as light as air, and it makes my arm twice as strong. So
Very cool.
I am going to remove the veil so that truth be known. That's going to be my big goal, is that everybody gets the truth at all times. Wouldn't it be great if we could put, like, we're not witches, but if we could put a spell on politicians that they could only speak the truth, like that Jim Carrey movie? Didn't he have a movie
that would be funny.
where he couldn't lie and he wanted to? So, if somebody said, "Do I look fat in this?" He went, "Yes."
So it's one of those things where they'd either not ever talk or
They couldn't
yeah.
unless they spoke the truth. So, Joe, get your wands out. Look at that. It's so personalized, and of course yours had the fence had a cool fence in it, and I think Sherry's had angel's wings in blue, and I think Michelle's was purple,
Hmm.
and mine has this orange red tint to it, very
Yeah.
much so at the bottom. I don't know, is that too close?
Yeah.
See it on the bottom, the orange and the red.
Hmm.
I bet that's sand. I bet that's sand from the outback where she got the wood, because Australia is so orange, isn't it, with the uru
Right. I think
rock.
she added color to the resin for each of them. But so I mean that even makes it more customized to you. She picked
I
those
wonder if
colors
she
just for
used
you.
sand, the red sand from the ground, to color the resin.
I think there's resin dye, but I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because mine is like heavily falling on the bottom and not so red and orange in the middle and the top.
Right.
And I had to put it on my teeth to see if it was wood, because can you hear that? It's like, it's so light.
Yeah.
So that driftwood is driftwood. It's like,
Yeah.
it's been soaked out. All the heaviness in it's been soaked out.
Yeah. And then she coated it with beeswax. I think she said you can
Joe,
go
thank you
over it
so
with
much.
vegetable oil or something. I'll let her tell you. I was going to ask her again.
It's like the most stunning thing I've seen. And then when I saw your interview together, I was like, she is the gentlest, most angelic nature that you rarely bump into. She has an absolute gentle demeanor. When she talks, there's so much gentleness to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to get your email. I'm going to do it properly.
So, what's life like in your? Have you been staying in the house or going
Well, I'm
out?
really boring. I stay in anyway. I go out for food, walk the dogs, you
Yeah.
know.
Anything
Um,
different for you?
yeah, they closed the beaches today at midnight. Midnight last night. So I guess that's midnight today. And the mall is open. There's 5 shops open. It was not mandatory, and 95% of the shops decided to close because they couldn't afford to keep the employees going, but it was not enforced. All our restaurants are on takeout or delivery, and we can go out as much as we like. And I find places like Whole Foods have more food in than Target or Walmart. And I still haven't found toilet paper in a week.
Mm,
So, I've got napkins, which are, for picnics, those kind of napkins.
yeah.
So as long as they don't bung up the pipes, I'm okay with that.
Right.
I can make do. But I've been guesting on a couple of shows, and people have been emailing me for facts and statistics, because some people know that I'm digging into government statistics to kind of get a more solid look at what's going on. And in the last 2 days, I found, and everybody found this probably, I don't like mainstream media, but I'm tapping into a little bit of it for information.
Yeah.
And
You
Fox
gotta you
News,
gotta find out where they're trying to lead you. So
Yeah.
you can look the other direction at
You got to
least.
tap in and see what's going on. And when there's a
Right.
hurricane, we definitely put mainstream media on so we
Oh,
know
yeah,
where the
yeah.
storm is,
Yeah.
So I caught that Fox News reported a couple of days ago that China has no new cases, which means it's not on the downswing, it's over there. They're just settling their current cases and getting the current people out of the hospital and back into work. There's no new cases.
Okay, so do they restrict flying? I mean, what if somebody goes back over there with it again?
Still restricted, which is fine because even though there's no new cases, some cases still exist because there's people in hospital. And of course, there's people running around who have it, who have no symptoms. 4 out of 5 will not have symptoms. It's a very low key disease in terms of virus, in terms of symptoms.
So what are the actual statistics? So are you finding there's a discrepancy in what they're putting out in mainstream media
Big
and
time.
what the actual World Health Organization or
Big time. Big time.
Well, what are the discrepancies?
Okay. So I kept reporting on my little channel that, hey guys, I'm watching the flu and I'm watching the coronavirus in America, and then I'll check in on the WHO occasionally to see what it's doing globally. And this was like a week ago. It seems like a month ago, doesn't it? It just time is, I don't know. For me, I guess it's slowing down if it feels like a month ago. Last week, I was reporting that there are currently 22,000 cases of active flu in America. And at that point, no, sorry, scratch. I've got so many numbers going on. There were 22,000 deaths from regular flu in America this season, which starts like in September, October. Doesn't start in January and goes until the end of spring. So, and at that point we had 79 deaths of COVID, but we had 22,000 flu deaths. Predicted, because you can't get the actual number of flu deaths, predicted on the CDC were 45 million cases of flu. Just in America, 45 million.
So and that's in one calendar year, basically, or one flu season.
Yeah, it's a flu season. So it like starts in October and ends after March or April. It's that kind of a year. It's the flu season.
So 45 million people get it. 22,000 have died from those.
22,000 have died so far, but they're expecting, they said 46,000 deaths. They're expecting twice as many people to die, which I don't think they're going to hit this year. The previous year, it was like 50,000. It was higher.
So what is that, like 0.1% or something?
It's around 1%.
Okay.
It's around 1%. But here's the problem. There's an investigative reporter called Ben Swan, and he's not going to get a lot of credibility, street cred in mainstream media because he used to work for like NBC, and he exposed something big and he got fired and he got blacklisted from mainstream media. So he has his own channel on YouTube and on the internet called Media Watch. And he just looks at the media and then he facts and checks their facts to see if what they're reporting is truthful or not. But he's often a guest on the RT, the Russian television thing. Mm-hmm. And they'll have him guest on their show. And they've got like 1 million subscribers in America. But then every time you go in to see an RT Tonight broadcast, just to see what's being broadcast from the other side, mm-hmm. so you can compare what news is out there on both sides, there's a lot of Americans subscribing to that. They're not afraid to subscribe to that, but a big Wikipedia thing comes up going, you do realize that this outlet is owned by Russia, Right. So I still find him credible because I knew of Ben Swan for a lot longer than before he was blacklisted for exposing something. I can't remember what the big case was. He used to expose so many things. So he went in and looked at the World Health Organization statistics, and he found the way the WHO is comparing deaths from, let's just call it CV, deaths from CV and deaths from flu, is they take the actual numbers of CV and figure out how many people have died. And that gives you a percentage of 2%, 3%. They were looking at between 3 and 4%. Then on the flu, the WHO took the actual numbers of verified flu in the world, and then they doubled it, estimated people who have flu who don't know it. And then they looked at how many people out of double the real number have died, and it knocked it down to 1% or 2%, between 1 and 2%. So what he did was he removed the estimated numbers, and he said, let's not compare apples to oranges and oranges to peaches. He said, let's compare apples to apples. Let's look at the number of CV deaths and the number confirmed, and let's look at the number of flu deaths with the number confirmed. And if you only do that, dealing with real numbers, no estimates, the flu is twice as deadly as the CV. If you get CV confirmed, you are twice as likely to survive it than if you get the flu confirmed. So that to me is amazing. I mean, that is a shocking statistic that the WHO has literally been inflating the flu numbers to make it look half as deadly. And they inflate the numbers by saying, well, only these are confirmed, but we know it's at least double or triple that. So let's just triple that number as the real number of people who are running around with flu and don't know it. They're not going to doctors. I mean, I've had flu so many times I never go to the doctor. Why do you go to the doctor for flu? You jump into bed, you take your Tylenol or whatever it is to lower your fever if it gets dangerously high. In Europe, we were taught anything over 102 degrees you could lower, but you had to live with a fever up to 102 degrees so that your body could burn off the bugs. But in America, because we're corporate led, they want to sell a lot of fever reducers. They say if your fever's 99 degrees or up, take your Tylenol, take your ibuprofen, take your Motrin or whatever they call it to lower the fever. Well, that way you sell more product. But then you're sicker longer because your poor little body's sitting there with no fever. You're not burning off any of the germs, viruses, or bacteria.
So are they, when they talk about flu, are they talking about just any kind of influenza or?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All the strains, hundreds of strains of influenza. So I'm going to put a link to that report showing how the World Health Organization doubled the death rate of coronavirus by cutting in half the death rate of flu. Because if I put the report in from Ben Swan, it'll make sense to everybody. So I took it a step further and I went into the UK virology report. They do one a week and it's in the UK.gov and it's for doctors and scientists only. So you have to read through a lot of medical charts and they have one report on the CV in the UK and they do it every week. And last week, almost 100% of the CV in the United Kingdom was active, contained, and spread and reported only in, get this, nursing homes and hospitals. The figure for the public spread of CV last week was almost nothing. And yet last week, all the draconian measures started coming. It's like either they're a step behind it and it's like clearing up and they're just getting their activities on to contain it and slow it down, but they're doing it a week too late, a month too late, 2 weeks too late. Or it's like a lot of people are saying now. I found a Forbes report on December 30th on YouTube. And these Forbes economic experts were saying in 2020, we have got to lower the global economy. In 2020, we need to get stock markets down worldwide. We need to get the dollar valuation and strong currencies down substantially. We need to, I don't know if it went into interest rates. I don't think it went into interest rates because when the economy's slow, interest rates go down. And when the economy's healthy, interest rates go up. And it said we either readjust the global market and get it down, cool it off, get it into the bear economy instead of the bull economy, or it's going to crash. Worse than 2008.
So what do you think's going on with this whole thing then? So do you think they're using this whole thing to crash the economy? You feel like it's directly related to trying to crash the economy? Like they're just
I think the virus is real. I think it's real.
All right. But
Okay,
you
I don't
just think
think
they're
it's
making it more fearful than what
I
it
think
should be.
they're boosting the fear of the virus in order to cool the economy. But now it looks like they may have cooled it too much. And I'll tell you what's telling me that. I have a Bloomberg report because I don't have stocks at the moment, but I have had them in the past. And now is a good time to buy stocks, and let the market cool off even a little bit more. It's gone from 30,000 to 17,000. It's almost half. So I think they said the stock market's where it was in 1987 or 84, somewhere around there. Good time to buy stocks, guys, on companies that are going to do well. And you'll have a little bit of investment for retirement that way. You can't pay your rent with stocks because it's not real money. It's monopoly money. You basically go, okay, here's my company, this beautiful little crystal, and I'm going to make it go public now. And I'm going to sell this crystal for $1 a share. Okay. So you buy $1 a share and everybody buys $1 a share. And then too many people start buying and I have to split it. Now I have twice as many shares to put out than when I first made it public. But it's not $1 a share. Now it's $2 a share because it's so public. I mean, it's so hot. There's confidence in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it keeps going up, 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 up until it's $100 a share. And then people start selling like crazy because they want to turn that air, that bubble of confidence into hard, cold cash. So they sell it when it's high, buy it when it's low. So they got lots of cash to buy boats and houses and, whatever people spend their masses of money on.
Mm-hmm.
But initially, no stock is worth masses of money. And that's true of Walmart and Amazon and Starbucks. They all started small,
Mm-hmm.
So it's all monopoly money. It's all based on belief. It's based on hope. And what happens is they play very unfair. If the stock market starts going down too much, like right now they've shut the floor because of the CV, but you can buy and sell online. So it's technically still open. And if it goes down too much, they'll close it so that nobody can sell. So basically they're saying, we're really rich here. And if we start losing too much money, boom, we just close it. So we can't lose any more money. But that's not how it works for the common man and woman. That we have to deal in the reality of real money. You work, you get paid money, and then you have to buy stuff that costs something, and you got to let your money go. So we're dealing in a different kind of like really material and substantial market of trade. Whereas the stock market is all based on a hope, a wish, fingers crossed.
So it's sort of like this is just, in your opinion, you feel like this is sort of just happens to be the virus that's going around right now, but they're using it. They're just
to
sort of
cool
being opportunistic about it and saying, well, hey, let's pump this up. Let's make people fearful of it so they'll start selling out the stocks. We'll get the market to slow down.
Yes, I do think that, and I have a little bit of proof. So I caught a Bloomberg article. Now, of course, Bloomberg is running for president, but he is also producing a very well-known, authoritative magazine and online magazine for investors. That's what he's known for. That's what Bloomberg is. So I started flipping through Bloomberg stories for CV stories to say, well, what is the market leader, the leader of investors telling American investors? And what I got just a couple of days ago on the 18th was Bloomberg reporting from the Italian health ministry. I hope this isn't boring for you guys because it says a lot. It says a lot. The Italian health ministry has told everybody, don't worry. We've now done the autopsies that we didn't have before. And 99% of all Italians who have died had 2 or 3 serious illnesses, not just one. So they'd have to have diabetes and asthma, diabetes and kidney failure, heart disease and emphysema. They'd have to have a collection of diseases, 99%, which means 1% were healthy. In Italy, one of the most hard-hit CV countries in the world. Now, I'm not sure that that's true, but that's what they're reporting to who? Stockbrokers. Why are they saying on the same day that mainstream media is saying, right, everybody lock yourself in, don't go out unless you absolutely have to, stay 10 feet away from people, 6 feet away from people. Why is mainstream media amping up the fear on the 18th of March while Bloomberg is telling stock brokers and stock buyers, the ruling elite, the people who have the money, he's telling them, hey, don't worry, don't sell your stocks, buy stocks. Why? Because this is on the way out, and it only hurts the really, really sick people. It doesn't hurt normal people. This is almost over. The other thing the article said is that they're so confident in Italy that it only hurts really sick people, so they can quarantine sick people and let healthy people get on with their life and go to work and go to clubs and go to restaurants and buy clothes and take vacations. They're so confident of that they want to release the Italian people back into the workforce completely in early April. Well, this is the end of March. So there's no quarantine till May or June, like people have been talking about. If Italy, which has been the hardest hit in Europe, outside of Iran and China, is ready to roll it all back and let everybody out, back to business as usual, life as we know it, the first week of April, that's like 2 weeks from now.
So I guess we'll know here in a couple of weeks then which one's telling the truth. If we're still, if they, because the kids were even supposed to go back to school around, I think, the 6th of April or somewhere around in there, which they just added 2 weeks onto their spring break basically. So they were supposed to go back in April, but they said, that could change. And I've heard other places saying school's out for the rest of the academic school year. So that's
definitely, some states are out until August or September.
Right. So now, but if what you're saying is true.
And if Bloomberg is true, I'm going to put that article in the comments after the show. You guys don't believe me. Everybody, do your own research. I'm going to put both, everything we talk about tonight, I'm going to put a link in the comments after the show. So you guys can go in and read the Bloomberg report.
Okay.
Where, hey guys, you don't need to sell your stock. In fact, everything's going to be back to normal in a couple of weeks. Look what Italy's saying. And Fox News is saying no new cases in China. But it kind of rolled our way, didn't it? It started in China. We didn't do anything. Then it hit Europe. We didn't do anything. Then we started to do something, and they're finishing. So it has this timeline of a roll across the earth, round or flat, doesn't matter. It's going from east to west, basically. So I don't know if that means that we're going to take another couple of weeks after Italy and Europe and China gets back to normal. Are we going to drag it out longer because we didn't start right away? But I do know that we're not actually handling the compensation for people in a way that would benefit us the most. Like in Europe, I just heard from somebody in the Netherlands. In Europe, where they have a lot of free healthcare, 6 weeks paid holiday by law, 12 months pregnancy leave, free university for everybody. In Europe and Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the Scandinavia, any of the Western world outside of the United States, they get a lot of bang for their buck. Whatever they pay in taxes, they get a lot back. But in America, we only put our money into the military and we get nothing back for ourselves. We get a little bit of local taxation, gives us police, fire, and roads and sewers. But according to the government, maybe we'll get some Medicare. I hope we all do. And Social Security when we retire. But if you're not retirement age, you're kind of on your own. And that is not true of the Western world. So Trump and Congress are offering $1,000 or $2,000 per person, right? Over a certain age and under a certain amount of money. They're not going to give it to really wealthy people who don't need it. And in Europe, what they're doing instead, they're going to give them 3 months. I was told by somebody in the Netherlands that they're talking about giving them 3 months credit relief, credit forgiveness. So you don't pay any mortgages, car loans, student loans, or credit cards for 3 months. Now, the reason that works much better and we need the same is the way we're doing it is they're going to vote next week on a $1.5 trillion package for the CV, where money comes to us, and it might have other things in it for hospitals and stuff like that. If you print more money and throw another $1.5 trillion into the economy that wasn't there before, the immediate response is it devalues the dollar on the international trade. And the immediate response domestically is that prices go up. The dollar is no longer worth $1, so now it's worth 70 cents. So you will see that 30%, because you better believe the corporations aren't going to take a 30% hit and let you still get bread for $3 or $5. No, they're going to make the people take the hit, so then they raise prices that much to compensate for devaluing the dollar. So then we pay higher prices. Not to mention the Fed is the central bankers in London are the Fed. They're taking care of the Fed for us. They charge 18 cents for every new dollar they put in our economy. Now, if we took over the Fed and printed our own money, we'd immediately save 18%. But that's not the issue here. The issue is if we let Trump and Congress bail America out by printing more money, the bankers make money on the CV pandemic because they get 18% of all the new money made, and the corporations benefit by probably not doubling their prices, but adding another 30 to 50% on the cost of living and the cost of goods. So the only ones who really benefit are the corporations and the banks. And if we did debt forgiveness for 3 months, we would benefit. And of course, the banks would take the hit. But if this has been exaggerated to kind of cool down an overinflated global market, then the banks should take a hit for all of the credit they've overextended. You know, you get into this trouble of a bubble when you overextend credit, because it's fractional reserve banking. They have to have $10 to lend out 100. The 90 is based on air, and it only works so long as everybody pays it back and doesn't default, right? As soon as people start defaulting, it's like dominoes. It's like everything starts crashing for the bank. So I think the bank should take the hit on the CV pandemic and give us 1 to 3 months of debt forgiveness.
Yeah, Diane's saying, of course, across the pond, Diane.
Diane.
She's saying they're telling them it could be up to a year, did you say? Let me scroll back up. Yeah, for a year. So they're saying that over there could be a while. I think I heard the president say July or August before things get cleared up over here. So
I've heard June. I've heard June.
Yeah.
I've heard till summer. It's until they feel the markets are strong enough to let everybody back into the working and buying. When you don't work, you don't buy. So right now, nobody's going to restaurants, flights, vacations, cars, TVs, clothes. You know, we buy food when you're not working. So they'll let us go back to work. And it is a real virus. You know, I'm not saying it's not a real virus, but it's half as deadly per person as the flu is. So I've never seen them shut down a country for the flu. And yet in 28...
I thought the thing was that, because I kind of felt like I understood why they were making such a big deal out of it after a while, because it seemed way more contagious than the flu.
Yeah, but then we'd have a heck of a lot more cases of it if it was way more contagious than the flu. So what's the current level here? What's the current level, girls, of
273 in Florida
of people who have it?
In Florida, I just read it. It's
like 700 in Florida.
No, I think it's more than that. 273 have died in Florida.
Well, I know we're going to have 45 million flu cases, but that's been double the time. So if it was even as contagious as flu, we should have half of that. What's half of 45?
22 and a half.
We should have 22.5 million cases of CV by the end of flu season, which is like what, May, June, in order for it to be equally contagious as flu, because we're having 45 million cases of flu in America this year alone.
Current COVID-19 statistics are such: 267
USA.
267,000
763 in Florida, but in the U.S.
confirmed cases total.
Oh, we got it. Thanks, guys. How many total confirmed cases, USA?
267,000. That's worldwide. Deaths worldwide is 11,000. 184 countries affected. Top country is 81,000 in China, 47,000 in Italy, almost 20,000 in Spain. Iran has almost 20,000. Germany,
how about the
18,
USA?
000.
What's our total
and
for USA?
We're at I was reading them in order too. So we're what, fifth or sixth now?
Oh,
15,000 cases in
How
the
many?
United States. 15,000.
Okay, guys, if you want to calculate for yourself while you check the CDC statistics as often as you like, the flu season began in October, but the CV wasn't really recognized until December, and it was called a pandemic in January. So we were halfway through the flu season when they recognized CV as a threat. Therefore, if we truly do get 45 million cases in the United States of just flu and 46,000 deaths from flu, whatever we get of CV, you just cut it in half and say, is it as contagious? Because we've had flu twice as long. So you cut the time in half and you cut CV in half, right?
I'm hearing
And
an
then you
echo really
compare.
bad. Are you hearing an echo?
No, I don't get an echo. Did that just pop in?
Are you hearing an echo?
Did it just start?
One second here.
Did it just start? So does that make sense, guys? Because I can't see the chat. In order to compare the contagion of flu in America versus the contagion of CV in America, you have to take the totals off the CDC, but you have to cut the flu in half because it's been around twice as long. So you can only compare half of the season of flu because halfway through the flu season, we got CV. Then compare contagion, who has it, compare the two. So right now we're at 15,000 CV who have it, but we have 22,000 deaths already from flu. That's just the deaths. And that's 1% of those who have it. So that's what, 22 million? We have 22 million cases of flu or 15,000 cases of CV. These numbers are not hard to crunch. So at the end of the flu season, if we only have 30,000 cases of CV, but we have 30 million cases of flu, which one looks more contagious?
Yeah, I hear you on that. I think I'm gonna have to call you right back or have you reconnect again because I can't get rid of this echo.
Is it an echo on the show, guys?
No, it's both of us echoing back there.
Oh, I heard an echo when we started. Here.
Check.
Turn my mic back on. How's that? Did we get rid of the echo?
It's so strange. I can't figure out where it's coming from.
You guys, I'm not saying don't wash your hands and don't let people cough on you. I'm not saying the FF word. I'm not saying it because I don't believe that. I just think it's being used as a tool to cool off the global economy before it crashes. And they're going to let us out to go shopping again as soon as they don't need the economy cooled off anymore. Yeah, it's called Still Bite. So I just looked it up. I can turn this off if this is interfering with my stream. It's Still Bite, that stone. It's Still Bite, that stone.
This is awful. I can't figure out where this is coming from. Let me see here.
What do people in the chat say? Can you guys hear an echo too? They'll tell you right away.
Yeah, they've been saying it.
Sounds
Nope,
echoing.
still echoing. Both echo. Yeah, we're
Is
both
it
echoing.
bad? Is it bad? We can shut down and go back in if you guys come back. I mean, we are going to do a meditation. We can say we're done with CV and the next half can be about something else. It's good to know. The more, you guys, information is power. The more you know, the better you can respond, with wisdom. So instead of like running away from the stats and the figures and the information, really look at it so you know how to react. The more you know, the more powerful you are.
We're good. It's gone.
It's gone?
Yeah.
Do you think because we're talking CV, somebody was listening in?
Everybody's talking CV. I think
Yeah.
we're going to stand out more if we weren't talking CV. Why are they not talking about it?
Why are they
Everybody's
not
supposed to be
talking about
talking about
CV?
it.
Watch those people closely. They're not talking about it. Yeah, the more you know, the better off you are. It gives you that wisdom and that peace to know that you're not going to be surprised. You know?
Yeah.
But a
There's
lot
a
of
lot of
people, empaths, just can't deal with it. They're like, I need to go sing and do something and play, and I need to turn all this off so I can keep my vibration high. And I don't blame them, because they're so empathetic that they can't deal with what's happening out in the world. But we're still in 3D. We are in the 3D world here.
Well, can we
And
do something? Because last night I had Maria in the chat said that her husband's nephew tested positive for it, and to keep him in our prayers or whatever. So, does anyone know anyone directly that has it, has been either diagnosed with it?
does anybody know anybody?
What about you, Diane, across the pond there? Do you know anybody that's got it?
And Wisdom, if Wisdom's still in the room, it's late for her because she's in, I think, the UK. I don't think Wisdom of the Lunar Rays is in Scotland with John Binney.
And I'm not trying to say it's not real. I'm just trying to figure out if it's just
Anybody knows anybody with it.
exaggerated a little bit, because you would think by the way they're talking about it that, I don't know. There's still not high numbers yet, but supposedly they're supposed to really, now they've figured out a way to test faster. So they're going to have like a backlog of tests come through quicker, and it's going to make the numbers seem like they kind of go up quicker.
But it's
or
already
something.
stopped in China, and now they're slowing it down in Italy and saying Italy's going back to work. So it can't go just higher in America. It's going to slow down here too. In fact, there used to be a chart on the WHO that did daily cases, and then you could see this red line going up or down every day. So for January, the red line every day went up, 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 because there were more cases reported every day. And then after February 28th, it was going down, 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 down. And then suddenly, March 3rd, it was gone. It was like they said, oh dear, we better pull that chart. You see? That's highly suspicious to me. Leave the chart on. Let us see that the cases are going down globally every day. But that wouldn't produce fear, right? We'd go,
Right.
oh, okay, I'm still going to stay home because they want me to stay home. I'm going to have a little vacation, play with the kids, pretend like it's a holiday, right? But I'm not going to be scared because I can see that the cases, the number of cases are going down every day. As soon as those cases went down in a steady way, boom, they pulled the chart. That speaks volumes to me. What they're not saying sometimes tells you more, you know?
Mm-hmm. He has spent 2 days at USC Medical Center and was discharged this morning. He's home, feeling great. Now, did they quarantine him for? He only spent two days there. Is he just like self-quarantine at home, Maria? She's chiming in now with her.
Hi, Maria. They say it's really hard on the elderly and people with underlying diseases. Then their lungs really struggle. But if they're healthy and young, you know what they say, 4 out of 5 won't even know they have it. They'll get a sniffle, they'll get a sore throat, and it'll go away.
Right.
So I hope Maria's nephew is that way. I hope it, you know.
Right.
My daughter's friend who just walked out the door, she got a sore throat and a cough. She works at a vet's. She went in and said, last week, test me for coronavirus. And they said, no, you're not old enough. That makes no sense, because if you're young and you have it, you can still give it to people. So her work said, don't come back. We don't want you coughing on us because it's freaking us out, and it's freaking out the customers. And the doctor gave her antibiotics, which don't work against viruses. They only work against bacteria infections, right? And steroids, and said, go back to work tomorrow. Go back to work with a cough and a sore throat, and we're not going to test you. To me, that sounds like a doctor who wants to spread it, you know, who's saying, yeah, we need more of this in the community. You know, that was crazy advice. So she didn't. She called work and she said, this is what the doctor told me to do. And her bosses went, absolutely not. If you have a cough and a sore throat, stay home until you feel good. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
So she's saying he has health issues, but he recovered from this. He was at home self-quarantined until the test results came back positive. So.
I'm glad he's okay. because he's in that category with the health difficulties where he needs to be watched and taken care of. Yeah, I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good, that it was only for 2 days that he was in.
Yeah, Barbara, eat your veggies.
Yeah, and your vitamin C and your zinc. Everybody's like, and vitamin D. Vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc is supposed to take care of. Plus, I do know olive leaf and oregano oil, echinacea, golden seal, those things fight. Oh, and elderberry, right? Jose made homemade elderberry syrup, really goes after viruses and stuff. So
Very cool. Yeah, I saw a video, Lift the Bell, earlier that was talking about how you can use a blow dryer and heat your sinus cavities up and kill the virus in, because I guess it's cooler or whatever and they can live in your sinuses. Did you see that?
no, but I heard lemon juice, salt, water, and vinegar will kill it, or just remove it from your sinuses, your throat. But who wants to put lemon or vinegar up their sinuses? Blow dryer sounds much better. But you could gargle with salt and gargle with vinegar water, white vinegar water, or apple cider, it doesn't matter, and gargle with lemon water. But I wouldn't stick it up your nose.
Well, you said they have a spray bottle with water in it and then the blow dryer. I actually did a post earlier, so if anybody's interested in it, just under the community tab, you'll see the post and you can go watch that video. But I thought, if I think I got it, it's worth a try,
Yeah, absolutely.
So
So it's going to be interesting. I'm guessing, my prediction, Eileen's prediction here, I'll use my little magic wand with it. Just kidding. My prediction is we will go back to work sooner rather than later because we are tanking the economy, the global economy, too fast. Too fast. So they're going to be like, whoops, it's safe now. Everybody's well. Go back to work. And we're going to get that notice in 24 hours. But you know what? Just to get even with the ones, if they did exaggerate this, don't buy anything. Don't buy anything but food for a month. Seriously.
Right.
And they're going to be freaking out if you are not going out to restaurants and buying jewelry and buying cars and TVs and clothes. Just be austere for an extra 30 days. Tuck that money away for a rainy day so that if they ever stick us inside again, you'll go, yeah, I got a lot of money on the side there. I'm going to be fine. That's my recommendation is when you're out, don't buy anything for 30 days that you cannot consume. Toilet paper and food. That's all.
So what sort of my feeling with this whole thing is that this is a huge mass awakening thing, despite whatever really started the whole thing to begin with. It's like, even if it had nefarious purposes at its inception or whatever, I feel like people are waking up from it. I've already heard reports of people kind of stumbling into some of the Facebook groups, asking questions like, what's all this about? And then people were sharing actually a video that Pam and Daryl sent us from somebody we really like, David Wilcock. And he's talking about some of his theories with all that. So what do you think about all that? Like, maybe this is a cover for something bigger going on.
Absolutely. That's the positive side of this. It's like I'm getting phone calls from people, mostly in Europe, who I'm their nutty friend, their conspiracy theory friend. And immediately they started contacting me going, Eileen, what do you think about this? This doesn't feel right. I feel like something's going on. There's something underneath it all. And I go, well, this is what I think so far, but I'm looking into it. And then they touch base again and they go, what have you found? Is it going on? And I'm like telling these people, you guys were really normal and now you're truthers because now you're looking for the truth, the reality behind the veil. So talk about, red pilling people. Wow.
So we got this hitting right at the time of the equinox, which we've discussed before. It seems like, there's always this huge shift with people waking up around the equinox.
Yeah, we're saying that, becoming Mandela affected.
And then on top of all that, we've got, I know these sound like little things, but you add them all together and there's got to be at least a noticeable spike in the people waking up. And that is Jeopardy, a whole Mandela Effect category.
Yes, basket full of cups and
I saw money bags. Yeah.
But you know what? He was asking, do you feel like you're being made fun of? And I was like, no, I don't feel made fun of. But he said a lot of the comments were, oh, it figures they're going to make fun of us Mandelians. And I'm like, I didn't see that. I didn't get the taking the mickey out of us. I felt good about it. I was like, wow, Mandela Effect category on Jeopardy. Wonderful. Because there are so many Mandela effects on Jeopardy through the years. Have you seen that?
Yeah, wasn't that the one where you could go into the Jeopardy archives and find a bunch of residue?
Yep.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
could find loads of residue in there.
yeah.
I wonder if they pulled that or if that's still there. If it's still there, you know, sometimes things that are very bad for you wind up being very good in the end. They just wind up, you know, you look back and you go, I'm really glad that happened.
I don't think they're going to go into the archives and start changing. I don't know. I've seen worse happen, I guess, but I don't think they change it. I think things can get Mandela affected, but clearly some stuff survived in the archives.
Oh, yeah,
Which is
big
cool.
time. So I'm totally on board with what you're saying. This is waking people up. It is serving them the red pill platter.
Right.
They are like, oh my God, there's something wrong here. I smell a rat. I love rats. I hate saying that, but I don't know of another saying that replaces I smell a rat. You know, rats don't even smell. I even owned a rat. They're not stinky. So we need something else that isn't anti-rat.
It's funny.
Oh my God.
I do love the JFK Jr. whole
I do too.
thing.
I followed Dolly on that. Dolly Daydream.
I think that would be really cool. I don't know. Maybe he'll make an appearance. That would be really cool. That would be like the ultimate comeback. Here you got like one of the greatest presidents, you know, the country's ever had, and then his son is there just yay high when his dad is taken out, you know, and then he turns around and comes back and gets revenge.
And he supposedly named his magazine George to identify the killer of his father being George Bush Sr. That's the whole George thing.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a conspiracy theory. So I'm not saying that's a fact.
So I love that one. Actually, that would
That's
be
a fun one.
that would be a fun one to actually unite a bunch of the country.
Oh my
kinda
God.
Give them
Yeah.
something to focus on, you know, if all this other stuff comes out and stuff. So I think that's a pretty cool theory.
And like what we were saying before we went live, we've got food, we've got shelter, we've got water, and we've got each other. We've got family, and we've got love.
Yeah.
We've got everything we need, whether we're locked in or not. We're okay, guys. We are really, really, really okay.
And if you think about it, what is this doing? And I've heard we might have like 10 days of no internet or something starting April 1st. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I've heard that rumor go around too for various different amounts of days.
But for the most part, people who normally are stuck in the grind, they're going to get tired of TV at some point. Maybe they'll hop on the internet, look around, and start
Maybe they'll take their kids
uncovering
out and
some
play
stuff.
ball with them or something, you
Yeah.
know? What are the other positives? And I've got no chemtrails. Chemtrails. My sky's blue.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah.
So everybody's saying that. Everybody's going, where are they? Where'd they go? Now, don't buy into our lovely, lovely lightworking community is so beautiful that there's a lot of news out there that now that we've been shut in for 2 weeks, the whole environment has recovered. The animals are fine. The trees are fine. The water's fine. First of all, nothing can recover in 2 weeks, but they can use that as an excuse to keep people locked in. Like, don't travel and don't go outside and don't ever do anything because you're hurting the world. We're not hurting the world. We're part of the world. So don't let them convince you that being locked up and locked in is going to save the world, because the world likes us out and about and enjoying the sun and the water and the
Actually,
sky.
if you take a look at like national parks and stuff, you see people are actually rushing to the national parks and just making a day out of it, you know.
Yeah, I know, and they're closing them down. Ours rushed to the beach. So what they do, they're like, hey, those people are having fun over there. Close the beaches. No beaches. That also leads to the conspiracy theory. Come on, guys. We love conspiracy theories. When we didn't have the Mandela Effect, we all were talking about conspiracy theories. So that leads to the conspiracy theory that they've got everybody inside and not gathering in public places so they can put 5G in every school and every mall across America within 2 weeks. That's a fun conspiracy. It's, you know, I'm not as fearful of 5G as other people are. I know you're not either. You know?
Yeah, but here was the other thing I thought. I'm thinking, are they getting everybody fearful to be out in public because if they release a certain amount of information, people might tend to want to riot or make a big deal or go.
Oh, I thought of that
complain, and
too.
it
Let's
just kind
don't
of keeps
gather
them
with more
home.
than 10 people. 10 people are not a very frightening crowd.
Right.
I thought the same.
Yeah.
But
So
then I thought that's why they would roll out 5G during the incarceration of us in our homes, is because nobody could protest it.
I don't know if
Nobody
you
could
guys are
protest
dealing
it.
with this wherever you live, but we had they released a bunch of prisoners from our.
I'm totally cool with that because I looked into and researched our prison population. And number one, it's mostly black. And number two, it's mostly for pot. For flip's sake, the only reason we have our prisons full of people smoking pot is because they make money on it. They it's not a public system like a public school. It is privatized. So they make the taxpayer pay for this, the prisoner $250,000 per prisoner per year. Yeah. And then they hire a company to manage the prison. So the companies managing the prisons are making billions off of pot smokers.
So
I'm all for like lock up rapists and murderers and burglars, but if you look at the statistics of who is incarcerated in America, we are the most incarcerated country in the world. We have more people in prison per population than any other country in the world because it's profitable.
right. So
Yeah.
going down the list of things that some people might find to be pretty positive out of this is the release of a bunch of nonviolent criminals that are in there for pot.
Yay.
Another one are people that were just about ready to get evicted from their home.
What about them? They can't get evicted?
No, I mean they got to, things are getting put on hold and things like that because
Wonderful.
of this whole thing.
Wonderful. What about the homeless? Technically speaking, guys, we need to take care of our people. And if you just look at America, we need to build shelters and provide food and beds and showers. And if somebody on the street, because they want to be there because they're mentally ill and there's nowhere else to go and they have no family, can wander in and get a shower, have a safe nap, maybe a change of clothes that are donated,
Mhm.
I don't know. We need shelters for homeless people so that they have somewhere to go.
Yeah. And a lot of them actually like to be out in nature, but when the weather gets really bad, at least they would have somewhere to go. So.
What about all those tent cities in Washington and California from the fire people who lost their homes started sitting, building tents and tent cities. They need temporary shelter as well, families.
Right.
I'm all for that. That's where our tax money needs to go, as well as to healthcare, for everybody, so that sick people don't have to suffer when it comes to health, and rich people don't have to suffer when it comes to health. That's totally immoral. That's unethical.
So it almost sounds like, going back to what you were saying about sort of pumping this up, it's like we've had SARS, we've had some of these in the past, and they've cried wolf, right? So this time maybe they're having to step it up and make it seem more serious. Is that sort of the route you're thinking with it?
I think so, because coronavirus is a SARS.
Right, yeah.
So why'd they change the name? They could have just said, oh, SARS-2, SARS-201,
Right.
SARS, the son of SARS. Everybody, run, hide. It's the son of SARS.
And that gets into the Corona, the Crown. Does that have something?
The Corona, the Crown, poor beer, the Corona beer.
Did you get the Nostradamus prediction supposedly about this whole thing? So somebody created this fake quatrain and released it on Facebook.
I saw it. Did you see it?
Yeah, I went and it's not real.
Although I did read all the quatrains. I'm sure you did too. And then none of them really make any sense. You can always adjust them in hindsight, you can make them work with anything, but they don't predict anything very well. But they do look good looking back.
Right, but that one looked too good looking back. I'm like, wait a minute. They're not usually this clear. It's usually way more ambiguous than what we're reading right here. So.
Okay, some more SARS facts, some more coronavirus facts. It's mutated 150 times. They've been inoculating cows for it for 10 years. There's been a coronavirus vaccine for 10 years for cows. And coincidentally, Israel and America have been working on the human vaccine for a year. So, they just had
Or just another coronavirus?
It's another coronavirus. It's like unidentified, like it's not a 19 or an 18 or a 17. They have been working on a coronavirus for human beings for 12 months in America and Israel. Lucky them. They have they have a crystal ball, and they just knew that it was going to be a coronavirus pandemic coming. So,
Makes you wonder.
Makes you wonder.
So I think we're being put at this unique opportunity where everybody's got their attention on this. You know, their lives have been disrupted to some extent or another. You know, to take this moment, this is like one of those timeline nodes where we can go this direction, where we can go this direction. And I think putting our power of intention together to guide it down that right path.
The right path, okay.
The most optimal.
The most optimal for the most people, for all concerned. So we want a government, or we want rulers. What do we call our rulers? Rulers sound like so under your thumb. We want authority that is compassionate and cooperative. That's all. We don't want them favoring banks and corporations over the people. We don't want them favoring a certain race of people over another race of people, or sex, or age, or sexual orientation. We want cooperative, compassionate government. But we want it for the whole world because, you know, look at how we acted. I never hoarded. I don't think you hoarded. I mean, I still don't have toilet paper. I haven't had toilet paper for a week. I mean, we've got napkins, like I said, so we're okay. But I refuse to hoard. I will not go into that unless, no, I can't. I just can't do it, because once you do it, you're sucked into the mentality of it, the spirituality of it. All for me, none for you. More for me, none for you. Because if I did it, I'd be giving it away then. I'd be giving it to neighbors and friends. I'd be going, who needs toilet paper? Who needs food, right? That's what we do in this community. We share. Mm-hmm. We're not extending that to the world view. We're panicking over being locked in for 2 weeks and worrying about our bums and not having toilet paper, while Africa always starves. Children in Africa always starve, every day, every year. But we don't look at that. And in South America, children are getting their food off of the rubbish heaps. Have you seen those documentaries with kids that go to the rubbish heaps and find food every day? And they can live off of them. They literally live off the rubbish heaps of other people's spoils. And, what else? Oh, in the Middle East, they're dropping bombs American made on Syrians, children. They've stopped for a while, I guess. And now they're doing it on Yemen. But we're not looking at that. We don't get the news about that. So our compassion needs to be for all of humanity. And our government, because we have a global market now, we kind of do have a global government, needs to be for all of humanity. So nobody starves anywhere. What do you think?
I was thinking of just using the energy of this particular event as a catalyst to propel us forward. I mean, I don't really know about all the other stuff. I'm just saying, this is what everybody's focused on right now. And
so do we want
that intention?
Compassionate government for America, or do we want compassionate government for the world?
I don't even know that I'd get into the government part of it, or politics, or anything like that. Just the energy of this moment and the focus that everybody has on CV.
To be what? To be used for?
A catalyst for positive change, and then sort of be specific that we want the most optimal, beneficial outcome for all involved.
But let the universe decide how that positive change comes to us.
Exactly. So we're sort of just pushing in that direction, but letting go of the expectations of what that might look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because then you can be surprised in many ways.
Right.
Like if you say, I want to make $100 this month, but and you might or might not get it, but if you said, I want to be more prosperous and abundant this month, it could really surprise you and be way more than 100.
Right.
And in different ways, because
you cancel a bill or
yeah, you've left it open to the universe to decide how. You've just asked.
Yeah.
You guys good with that?
Because I feel a lot of excitement with it. I know a lot of it's the kids just happy to be home and.
Oh God, kids love it. Are you kidding? I don't have to be in school, except they closed our beaches and they closed our pools and our tennis courts and basketball courts. Anything social is closed.
Right. Yeah, we even had our flea market it was completely dead. It looked like a middle of the week there, nobody. Completely closed.
The roads were empty today. I had to go get some food and I was like, Wow, my roads are empty because they're so crowded in the winter with snowbirds.
Well, it's like the official flea market shut down, but there was like places down the road that people typically just set up in parking lots, and they were still there. They didn't care.
Yay!
They were
I
there with
go
their
there and buy
fruit and
stuff,
bikes and right.
Okay, you want to hear something weird? Um, I didn't have much luck in Target and Walmart, so I went to Whole Foods for some specific items for the dogs and for the home. And there were only 2 people in the whole of Whole Foods wearing masks. None of the employees, but 2 customers. And one was wearing gloves. Should have come in a spacesuit. My friend went to Walmart today and said, or Target, I think she did both, and said everybody was wearing masks.
Really?
Yeah. So do you see a lot of people running around in masks now? Me neither.
I think the only person I saw was at the post office. I went to mail something, and the worker had a mask on, no gloves or anything, and then there was tape on the floor. You had to stand 6 feet apart, and they couldn't have more than 10 people in the main part. You had to wait out by the P.O. boxes if there was already 10 people in there. So, yeah, that was really the only thing I saw that was kind of weird. But it's
I went to
government,
Walgreens and walked right up to the cashier. And then the next people were standing 10 away from me, but he was right next to his son. And I'm like, but I'm here with the cashier, so she's expendable. She can catch it. Oh, holy moly. Let's do it, guys. What are we going to do? We're going to do best possible outcome from, what do you want to call it? Because we can't really call it the coronavirus or COVID or CV. How do you want to term this?
A catalyst, maybe? That would sort of leave it open to whatever the main global
catalyst is at the moment.
Yeah.
There's always something that's a
Yeah.
catalyst for change. There's always a storm
Yeah.
or a virus now
Or
or
a fire or
a fire that is a catalyst for change. Yeah. And then we can leave it up indefinitely.
Yeah. That sounds good. No mask there either, Diane's saying. So nobody's seeing the mask. Nobody's seeing the. I don't know. I've seen people are acting different. You can tell, like at the post office, the kids were keeping their hands to themselves. Like the parents were like, do not touch anything, blah, 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 blah.
Don't pick your nose. Oh my God. Okay,
Perfect.
let's do that. Let's have a really nice meditation. We've deserved it. Thank you for letting me go over statistics, though. I really appreciate being able to talk about research. It just makes us wiser, right?
Yeah.
We can't be afraid of information. Here we go. Okay, everybody, get nice and comfy. Really kind of scooch down. Move your shoulders back. Let them go lower. Relax them. And we're going to take a nice deep breath in and release it fully, completely. Kind of relaxing the muscles in your face as you do that. Then the next deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. And as you release that oxygen, let all tension leave your body, your shoulders. Let them sag down, relax. And a third final deep relaxing breath in, fill up your lungs, let your tummy extend, and just let it all go and let that relaxation go into your torso and your legs and your feet, down your arms and down your hands. And now we always start doing heart maths, breathing. We're going to breathe in through our heart center or chakra. And when we're ready, you exhale through the same heart center, heart chakra. Continue to breathe in and out of that center at a pace that feels really, really comfortable. And as you're breathing in, let's breathe in love and let it fill your body from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. And exhale forgiveness for everyone, everywhere. And then switch it back and breathe in forgiveness. Fill your body up with forgiveness. And exhale love for everyone, everywhere. And continue to breathe in the love and the forgiveness in alternate ways as you send a grounding cord down from your root chakra, that's the red one, at the base of your spine. Send it down through the building and down through the crust of the earth, down through the different layers of the earth until it reaches the center. And when it reaches the center of the earth, let your grounding cord spread out, strong and bright, in all directions. Now, to entrain our hearts with our minds, we're going to imagine holding hands together as a group right here and in the future for people who are joining us in the future. We're going to hold hands spiritually, and we're going to imagine being in an absolutely beautiful part of nature. It can be any place that you want to be tonight or today, depending on where you are while you're listening. It could be a beach with the sand between your toes and the gently roaring sea coming in. It could be up a mountain high with eagles flying above you. It could be in a deep, dark, cool, gentle forest. Let's see, where else? It could be in a cave. It could be in any part of nature. It could be your backyard where you garden. It could be a big rolling field of grass. It could be a meadow with flowers. Anywhere you like. Let's just get that picture in your mind and now start to hear it. What does it sound like? What does it feel like? And we're going to start to intend together right now that the current catalyst that we are experiencing for change, individual change in ourselves and our families, in our mind, in our hearts, and in our spirits, and the global catalyst of change for all of humanity. We're going to imagine that having the best possible outcome for all concerned. That is a simple request. It's a simple prayer. You just have to ask for it and allow it to come to you. We are asking God. We are asking source energy. We are asking all the angels and archangels, all the spirit guides, all the cosmic brothers and sisters. We are asking our higher selves to step up now and to help move this catalyst forward in a positive way for the most positive outcome for the most people. And that includes our communities, that includes our country, and that includes the entire earth, no matter how you see it, as a turtle, as a dome, as an eye, as a ball, as a flat plane. However you see this place that we share and we call it Earth, imagine the current catalyst of change, the current mover and shaker of shaking things up, changing things. Just ask that that has the most positive results in the most beneficial way for the most people and plants and animals and all of Earth as possible. And we'll just go silent now for 3 minutes as we continue requesting this. And now, before you open your eyes and start to stretch your neck and move your hands and feet about a little bit, before you get the blood circulating, really give some deep, deep gratitude and thanks and appreciation to your higher self for guiding you through this and guiding you through all challenges in all directions of time. Go ahead and open your eyes and let your grounding cord go if you wish, and come back.
Beautiful. And I love that because no matter what the catalyst is,
Of change.
whatever the theory is with the specific catalyst, all the white hats or whoever's working behind the scenes for the positive change, we've just added our support to them. So I love
Forever moving forward.
Yeah.
Possibly moving back as well. If all time is in a loop, what we've done right now will actually change the past, which is wonderful to think that way. And as Cynthia always says, how good can it get?
Yeah.
That changes the past too. So
exciting times.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I really thank you so much for the suggestion and for everybody here who's doing the meditation and our regulars who are here every Saturday night healing the earth together. Yeah.
And thank you, Eileen, for doing it.
Thank you. Yes, I'm actually very proud and happy and grateful that you let me do it.
Awesome. Well, tomorrow we actually have a live premiere of I guess it's the second day panel discussion we had at our last IMEC conference. So we're going to all be in the chat while it premieres tomorrow. So that
what time? Because I'll be here.
I want to say 3
channel.
p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on the IMEC channel though. But I do have the link right.
Yeah, I'll go there. I'll go to IMEC. I've got it. I'm subscribed.
You can actually go down and click the link. It's right at the top, so you don't even have to hit the show more button or whatever. You just click that link and you can set a reminder and it will remind you tomorrow. I want to say it was 3 p.m. Eastern. Could be 3 Central. I'm not sure.
I'll just I have to do, for odd things that aren't regular, I have to set an alarm on my phone just to remind me that something unusual is happening today. Because otherwise I'll go like, darn, I missed it, because it's not a regular thing every day. But just out of curiosity, we're speaking at the 2nd Annual International Mandela Effect Conference, June 5th through 7th in Connecticut, right? Any word on who else is speaking there? I know Cynthia Sue Larson and Regina Meredith, Jerry Dark Wolfsten,
Evan,
the quantum businessman, and is Moneybag speaking?
Moneybags, Evan, he's going to be speaking.
I love Moneybags.
Really excited about that.
He's got such a gentle spiritual nature in the way he delivers stuff. He's a great guy. Yeah,
really excited about that. So
Moneybags, and who else? Regina Meredith from Gaiam TV. She's cool.
Right.
Cynthia Sue keynote. Lauren Cannell. Am I saying the name right?
Yeah, I believe Lauren will be speaking.
And who's the artist? The beautiful
Kimberly Lynn Hansen.
Kimberly Lynn Hansen.
Yeah. Did you mention Jerry Dark Wolf?
I mentioned Jerry Dark Wolf already. You and me.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, there's a number of people. I just don't have the list right in front of me. I didn't have it up ready to go. So
I know. I didn't tell you I was going to ask, but I just thought, hey,
so I apologize if I didn't mention your name.
Yeah. We're not prepared for this. But come on, guys, if you can get out there and be a part of the International Mandela Effect Conference in Connecticut that weekend of June 5th through 7th, we would love to see you there. We'd love our community to be there. That would be awesome. And I'm sure it won't get canceled. That's June. This is going to be way over by June.
We'll know pretty soon.
Yeah, this can't go on till June. I'm saying right now it can't. No way.
Maybe this is so we can get our plane airfare cheaper right now. So,
well, let's do it. Let's buy it cheap. I mean, my God, I looked at 2 people going to Las Vegas for $50 each return. I'm like, you're kidding me. I looked at Hawaii. Hawaii was expensive. It was $300 each return from Florida to Hawaii. I'm not going.
That's pretty good, though.
You can dream. I'm not going. I'm staying put. Let's do that. Let's get our airfare booked for that weekend while it's like $100.
Right.
Yeah. let's do that. And then, of course, if they cancel it, then they have to give us some kind of a refund, right? Because there's no flight.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, we can buy the insurance. The insurance is $20, which means if your flight is canceled or delayed for any reason, they will give you the full price of the ticket back. I'll get the $20 insurance.
You can also cancel it too up to, like, what is it?
24
months?
hours. No,
Oh,
it's
really?
24 hours.
I
Yeah.
thought it
Well,
was.
I use Expedia. It's 24 hours.
That's not bad. I thought it was like a month or something.
If you buy a ticket that is cancelable from a month, they're always double. If you buy a non-cancelable fare, it's half the price. But then you buy the insurance.
And then you just buy a whole nother one for half the price, right?
Exactly. But you get the insurance, and then if you can't go because anybody's sick, or they cancel the flight, or they cancel the conference, you can get your money back.
Yeah.
So I hope we all go, because I don't know what we're doing in terms of this summer. Everybody wants to get together. We'll figure it out, like September.
That's the idea. Yeah, August
That's
or
the
September. Yeah.
In Georgia, near Savannah, so we can do some ghost hunting together on the island. What island is that we're going
Tybee
to?
Island.
Tybee Island.
That'd be beautiful.
We'll try to get a lot of little hotels on that little island together.
We got
so
a few people wanting to look at it, help organize it.
Oh,
That's in the
who?
area.
Awesome. Anybody I know?
Jen's Gems. She's in Georgia.
Wonderful.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you, Jen.
Colleen is another person. I think
Yep.
there's a few more. I'm sorry, it's just memory. But yeah, there's a few people in the area. So
I'm just going to request that we get a lot of cheap hotels near walking distance so we can meet on the beach and meditate at night and look for UFOs on the beach at night and,
oh yeah,
and have breakfast together, and that we can get somehow into Savannah to do our ghost hunting tours. Yeah.
that'd be cool.
There's some really good haunted places there. I looked it up. There's like 10 awesome haunted houses and hotels in Savannah.
We're gonna have our ghost radar apps on our phone, trying to capture.
Yeah, so Sherry has
orbs
to be
stuff.
there. Sherry, you have to be there. I want to go ghost hunting with Sherry. We've been talking about it, the two of us, for a year now.
A
So-
ghost hunting trip would not be complete without Sherry. You got to
It
be
would
there.
not be complete without Sherry. And her daughter, maybe. Maybe Darby can come too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if you're in the area and you want to help set something up, I know there's some people. Rita's probably gonna, if she comes, she'll be coming with her camper. So we got to think about all of that.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to get a camping site on Tybee Island for Rita and her husband. They have a lovely camper.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
And who else? I mean, I just hope everybody can come. I always feel like then maybe people won't go to the IMAC conference because they're saving up for Savannah and ghost hunting instead, But hey, whatever. Shane and I are going to be at both.
Whatever you prefer.
Yeah, whatever
Follow
you
your
prefer.
heart.
You want to
At
go
least-
meet Moneybags and Jerry and Cynthia Sue and meet, then come to the IMAC conference.
At least we're on the East Coast this time. 2 East Coast destinations to plan for. So everybody on the east part of the country.
Is taken care of.
Yeah.
But next year, guys, we're going to have to do the good old Midwest. We have to. It's not fair. We got to
Right.
do the Midwest next year and give everybody in the Midwest, because there's so many. Kate and Rita. Who else? They did the meetup in St. Louis. You guys had a meetup in Tulsa.
Exactly.
So we're hitting the Midwest next year, guys.
Yeah.
And then maybe if there isn't like aliens like Yeseti and ghosts like Savannah, maybe we can do something with crystals. Like maybe there's somewhere to dig for crystals nearby. We can all meet and do some crystal digging.
Mm.
I don't know if that's just in Arkansas, but I know you can go digging for crystals like in places. We can
Yep,
come up with some
Hot
theme.
Springs. Hot Springs has a lot of quartz in the area.
Is that Arkansas?
Yeah.
Is that considered the Midwest? Could we go there and do crystal digging as a group? It'd just be fun.
It's not too far. It's I don't know. I don't know what it's considered.
It's not the East Coast and the West Coast. It's kind of in the middle.
Yeah. Bible Belt? Dirty South,
Oh,
if you're a rapper?
I'll bring my
I don't
Bible
know.
and my hoe, my hand hoe for digging crystals. Let's consider it, because I am just a crystal person. I love rocks. They don't even have to be crystals. They can be lying on the ground. And if I'm walking by, I'm like, I hold it. I'm like, can I take you home? And it'll tell me yes or no. If it says no, I have to drop it. And if it says yes, I'm like, thank you.
Very good.
I do kinesiology on it too. If I hold the rock and it makes my hand really weak. I'm like, okay, you want to stay home. And if I put the rock outside in my hand and I test my strength and it's like a rock, hard, I'm like, okay, you want to come with me?
You got yourself a new rock friend.
I got myself a new rock friend, and it's all based on intuition and kinesiology.
It's very good.
Yeah, yeah.
So I should have probably. I guess I just thanked the rocks that I took from Sedona.
That's good. They love you, because how could any rock not want to go home with you, Shane? I'm sure that's good enough. I just got in trouble taking rocks from the pyramid. I took pyramid rock. I had no right. I didn't break it off. It was just sitting there waiting for me to bring it to America, but it didn't want to be there. It needed to be back in Egypt from 4,000 years ago, from when it was, so I had to get my pyramid rock back to the pyramids. And they say the same is true of Pele. She's a goddess of volcanoes. So
Hawaii,
they say,
right?
yeah, and they say be very careful picking up, what's it called? The black lava rock.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you have permission from Pele to take the lava rock home. Mm-hmm.
I'd love to go to Hawaii. Never been there before.
My dad lived in Honolulu, and he was kind enough to send us a ticket once a year to come out and see him. So, since I was like 30, I'd go there and see my dad every year, which was so nice. I love Hawaii. I wanted to move there, but it was a bit on the pricey side for cars and houses. So I moved to Florida instead, because I was in Europe for 22 years and I wanted to come home, and I wanted to be in a beach with palm trees. So it was like Hawaii or Florida. I really wasn't a California person. I like it to visit, but I didn't want to live there. So it had to be Florida, because Hawaii is so expensive, but beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. I'd like to go there at least at some point. It looks so beautiful.
You know those houses that are like $250,000? They're $1 million in Hawaii.
Oh, I bet.
They're just little houses. So it's because there's so little space and there's so little to choose from. It's a closed market.
Right. I even heard that they ship homeless people back to the States for free.
That's crazy, because
Is that
in
true?
Honolulu, the Kanakaliki Park, I think that's how, if I'm saying it right, was full of homeless people from America, just sleeping out, little tents, little, maybe they just have a roll, a bedroll, what's that called? A sleeping bag. Oh man, it was like homeless city.
Wow.
Kapolani Park,
Is that the
right on
main
the
island?
water. Yeah, it was on Oahu in Honolulu. There was a Starbucks there, so we would wake up at 5 a.m. because we were on English time and walk to the Starbucks, and then we'd just say hi to all the homeless people, because Kapolani Park was full of homeless from America. Yeah.
Wow. That's
And
amazing.
it made sense, because there they have the warmth, at least. They're not living in the winter and the snow and the rain, right?
Yeah.
Made sense.
If you're going to be homeless, might as well do it in paradise, right?
Do it in paradise. Yep.
Yeah.
But I would set up like shelters for them there in Hawaii too, where they could just kind of wander in, get a bath, get a hot meal, maybe have a nap on a cot, and then wander back out. Give them some place
Yeah.
to refresh. And
Buy an old cruise ship or something. Old Carnival cruise ship, the homeless cruise liner, and let them dock. And
that would be perfect. But I have to tell you, having worked with some homeless people, not everybody, I'm not being prejudiced here, guys, but they have some interesting mental challenges. So to confine them all on a ship could be quite interesting. Yeah. Like, at least in a park, they can run away and go do their thing until they calm down. I'm not saying they're all like that. I'm not being mean.
I'm saying get an old used Carnival cruise liner, right? Fill it with the homeless people, and then start a reality show from it.
Oh my God, don't give someone an idea.
I'm sorry.
They might do that. They might actually put a bunch of, let's see what happens to homeless people on a ship with nothing but water around them
Hey,
and
at least they
nowhere to
wouldn't
go.
be. At least they would be getting them off the street, though.
And they'd have a bed and a shower and some food.
Putting a personality, a face to them.
Yeah, I love homeless people. And in London, we'd get to know our local homeless people. They would always stay by a certain tube, and you always used a certain tube stop to get to and from work. So you get to know them, give them money as much as you can, whenever you can, and they'd get to know you. And some of them actually would buy a magazine for like $1. God, I can't remember what that magazine's called. It's made out of paper, and it's got like concerts, restaurants, activities, museums. And then they would sell it to people for $2, and they got to keep the extra $1. So it was a way to employ the homeless and get the money.
Right.
How cool is
And
that?
save yourself a few steps, right?
Yeah, and you've got this magazine once a week that shows you what's on in London, you know. It was awesome, you know. Whoever thought of that was brilliant. It's still going.
Very cool.
Yep.
Well, lots of love and light and unity to all of you guys in the chat and watching later. And thank you again, Eileen, for a wonderful meditation.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you, everybody. I love you guys.
You guys be safe and protected and calm and peaceful. Enjoy your time off work if you got some time off work.
Yeah, make the most of it.
Just make the most of it. Enjoy your time, and we will be back next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Mm-hmm. Peace.
Be sure to check out the website at uotf.net. There you will find the live stream schedule displayed in your local time right there on the front page. Below that, you'll find links to take the Beyond Quantum Healing course at a discounted rate, purchase our book, Mandela Effect, Friend or Foe, in paperback or ebook, or to contact me to schedule a BQH session. At the top of the site, you'll find links to help support the work I do, access the free private forum where you can discuss organizing get-togethers in your area, Mandela effects, and more. Thank you all so much for being here.